Good morning. It's Kinninigan. We're going to have a little chat about what happens when stupid brainwashed people like Ricky Maddow opens up her mouth and says shit that isn't even true. One of my favorite authors of all time is JRR Tolkien. And she's basically smearing Tolkien as saying that The Lord of the Rings is a far right favorite. This is 100 and complete utter bullshit. I'm going to tell you the truth about Tolkien. And Tolkien, for all intents and purposes, as well as C.S. Lewis, who was the author of the Chronicles of Narnia, and there's one more author from that time. I can't remember. They were, for all intents and purposes, liberal. And if you know anything about the Lord of the Rings, it was a metaphor for the industrialization of England. Tolkien was he was a hippie way before hippies were around. He loved trees. He was very. I can relate to Tolkien in the fact that he was kind of a an outcast, if you would say that. So now they're trying to accuse Lord of the Rings as being a far right favorite. The truth is, J.R.R. Tolkien was a real liberal. These communist pieces of shit you want to call them nowadays are not liberals. They know nothing about history. Um, in fact, what had happened when Tolkien had published Lord of the Rings, he was accused by his peers at Oxford University um, for not teaching academia and writing fairy tales at nighttime for his children, which is what Lord of the Rings was actually. He loved trees, which is why you have the subplot in the story about the Ents. Um, and if you did not know this, Mordor in Lord of the Rings was a metaphor for the industrialization of Birmingham, England, where Tolkien had lived, and he saw the industrial factories going up with all the black smoke, and well, that's what Mordor was. Um, so you had an anti-industrialization message in Lord of the Rings. Sounds pretty liberal to me. Here goes a guy who I respect a lot. Now, if you're from England, you probably know this guy, Malcolm Guite, and he's an anomaly. You just don't see people like this nowadays. And he's a liberal. He considers himself a hippy dippy liberal before they were even around. He's a pastor now. He's a poet, and one of his favorite pastimes is reading Tolkien and smoking a pipe, tobacco. He loves Bob Dylan. He loves the poetry of Bob Dylan. Does this sound like a far right conservative to you? Yeah, Malcolm Guite, if you know. And he has a YouTube channel, and it's where I learned a lot about the political views of Tolkien, which I was unaware of, and how he was considered a radicalized liberal for his day. Same thing with C.S. Lewis in the Chronicles of Narnia. In fact, here goes, yeah. So I watch his videos from time to time. He's very entertaining. Um, but if you know the truth, look, and this is kind of what cultural Marxism was meant out to do. They hijack political movies. These are not fucking Democrats. These are not liberals. I don't even think these people are human fucking beings. And Ricky isn't even a Women. You know what I'm talking about. The way these people hijack movements and just talk shit, and now it's all catching up with them. I just can't take the stupidity anymore. You don't know anything about history. You don't know what a real liberal is. I'm more liberal than these people in the Democratic Party are. I am against big government. I'm against being told what to do. Um, I am an environmentalist. I love nature. I don't believe in polluting the earth. And, these are supposed to be views that are more embraced by quote unquote liberals, but they've muddied the waters on that so bad now that the word has no fucking meaning anymore. Um, I'm getting a little burned out. I think a lot of people are, about all the bullshit that's going on with the attempt on Trump. Unfortunately, it's been a week now. I watched that. Yeah, it was a week. It's been a week, and all kinds of stuff is coming out now. Um, I believe one of the worst things they could have done is not succeed. Thank God, because now everyone is looking at the events, and there's just so much bullshit coming out about it. And I want to end the video with this. I'm going to tell you something going back to history, as I am a student of history. There is something that can be done. I'm going to tell you what it is right now. Something that, as long as we got some law enforcement and FBI and DOJ people that have enough balls, pun intended, Rachel, to actually uphold the law, there is something that can be done. You wouldn't have to change any pre-existing laws. You know how they try to go after Trump with some bullshit law that was on the books from the 1800s? Well, guess what? Karma is a bitch. If you could support the channel, I would appreciate it. I'm getting old. This is the week of my birthday. I'm going to be 47 in 7 days. Yeah. Leo season is almost here. 2 more days. You ready? Pack your shit up, Cancer. The Lions are coming. Um, in the 1950s, in the United States of America, after we had beaten the Nazis, in order to stop communist subversion in the United States itself, in the 1950s, we had a lot of laws put onto the books holding people accountable for spreading communist propaganda, including celebrities, politicians, and newscasters. In the 1950s, those videos are on YouTube. I'm not going to pull any of them up because you wouldn't even think you're in the same fucking country anymore. In the 1950s, there were a lot of public service announcements that came to television, which was a huge medium at the time. And they will put out how to spot if your neighbor is a potential communist and how to report them. There's also videos out there warning young boys to stay away from homosexuals. This was in the 50s. Yeah, well, I ain't even going to go there, but I'm just saying that um, there are laws that are on the books right now from the 1950s. These are remnants of how to deal with communist subversion in the United States of America. And yes, someone like Rachel Maddow can be indicted and arrested for spreading communist propaganda. But I hate calling these people communists because if you know anything about communists, they do not spread LGBTQ shit in their countries. So I don't know what you call this. They're not liberals. They're not Democrats. I'm demonically possessed. I guess that's the best one. But just the amount of shit that comes out of their mouth every day, and this is what me and a lot of people are just getting sick of. Almost 4 years of this bullshit every single day. Running your mouth unhinged. There needs to be repercussions for this. I do, in all honesty, think that they should be held responsible for the environment that the country is. You know, but now they're trying to. Yeah, you're gonna shit on Tolkien and say it's a far right. You know nothing about fucking Lord of the Rings, Rachel. Just shut your mouth. You know nothing about Tolkien. You know nothing about what he stood for. He was actually chastised by academia in England for writing fairy tales. Oh, you didn't know that. And Mordor was a metaphor for the industrialization of Birmingham, England, which is a very liberal message. Um, that's all I kind of want to rant about. I just can't, you know. You ever get curious? Malcolm Guite, that's Guite. He's a cool guy. He's got a YouTube channel, and the way he carries himself, you know, look, I'm not gonna lie. He's got secret society written all over him. He looks like an old Mason. This is what Freemason look like. This is what your grandpa looks like. Your you know, this, but he's also he's got some pretty interesting things and interesting perspectives on the world. And he admits, you know, we were considered liberal radicals at the time in the 60s. These people embracing poetry and fantasy writing. It was kind of an very extreme thing back then. You just didn't write fairy tales. It's kind of frowned upon by academia. But then we wound up getting one of the best fantasy stories ever with Lord of the Rings, obviously. And, you know, Tolkien would be praised years after that for being, but he was definitely not a far right, quote unquote, conservative. He was shunned by these people, like I said. Just like I'm shunned by academia for teaching about reptilians. It's the same paradox. Although I tell you, if you got half a brain and you really research the Illuminati and the occult, all roads are going to lead you to reptilians, whether you want to admit it or not. You know, that's the kind of the paradox there. Yeah, I just kind of want to rant about that. I'm getting sick of these people spouting shit out of their mouths when they have no idea what they're talking about. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, what if Democrats they got their election in 2020? What the fuck have they done for America in 3.5 years? And now they're going to sit here with surprised Pikachu face, wondering, "Oh, I know one supports us." Well, because are you serious? It'd be like being an abusive boy or abusive husband and wondering why your wife is filing divorce papers from you. Gee, you know, fucking these people. And now everything's falling apart for them. And it's kind of happening not just with politics, it's happening with the DEI stuff is falling apart. All their little agendas have fallen apart. I don't know who these people ever thought they were. When you think you could tell humans what to think and do, this is yeah, it's where you start running into problems. Um, anyway, that's my rant about Tolkien. Tolkien, for all yeah, he was mm, call him what you want. He was a liberal for his time, and he was shunned by academia for writing fairy tales when he should have been teaching academia. Only years later, Tolkien's works are studied in college now. Oh, how the world changes. And now Oxford is proud to admit that they had Tolkien go there. Oh yeah, we love Tolkien now because he wrote a little bit more than something than just a quote unquote fairy tale. So it's kind of my rant about Tolkien here, and I'm just getting really sick of these people just running their mouth over, you know, with no repercussions. And yeah, this is Dan Borgino. I was over here. I saw this. Rachel Maddow says Lord of the Rings is a far right favorite. What? By the way, I don't think we'll ever see 3 Hollywood movies as good as Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings ever again, sadly. It's pretty pathetic. There was no political messaging in that movie. He stuck to the source material. and gave us one of the best trilogies ever, which I do enjoy rewatching from time to time. I've rewatched Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit within the past. I actually like the Hobbit movies. Gee, compared to modern Hollywood, a lot of shit looks better now, doesn't it? So yeah, I can't take this news anymore. And now, in a strange turn of events, we're not the conspiracy theorists anymore. It's now the liberals are being tagged as conspiracy theorists for saying that Trump staged this. Might as well just say fucking reptilians did it. Why not, Rachel? You might as well, now they're being labeled as the conspiracy theorists. And I told you what'll happen. They will turn on I hate calling these people liberals. I hate calling them Democrats because they're not liberal and they're not Democrat. We need to invent a new word for them. Troglodyte comes to mind. That's a lower evolved human. Anyway, if you could support the channel, I would appreciate it. I have food, I have cigarettes, but let's see, what do we need? We need marijuana. Yeah, that would be nice. Anyway, if you could support the channel, all the links are in the description. Thank you to the people who bought some T-shirts. I'll see that money at the end of the month. I think we sold. I sold like 5 T-shirts for the so that was kind of nice. I am not getting a payout from AdSense this month, which would normally be on the 21st. I didn't hit the $100 threshold because I'm only relying on super thanks for that, and I want to keep the channel that way. I do not want, even though I get emails every single day from YouTube. Turn on your AdSense, Kenny. No, it's not worth it. Um, every video I make would go for monetization review. I wouldn't make any money to start with, and it's just whatever. So no, I don't want to do that. Um, yeah, we know who caused the internet and IT outages all across the world. It was tied into BlackRock. Scrubbing the evidence. That's all. I don't really get into numerology. Not saying anything bad about it. Someone just left a comment, but I don't. People spell their names differently. So how could you put gematria to a name when it could be spelled like 10 different ways? It makes no sense. And the English language is so fucked up to start with, I wouldn't even rely on gematria for it. I just don't. Someone asked me when this assassination attempt happened, weren't the Republicans supposed to be at Bohemian Grove? Yeah, that is a good question. They do go there throughout the summer. Oh, that was my this meme came out. DEI another day. How satisfying? Why is YouTube sending me DEI another day? It was so apparent as to what was going on here. I mean, and then I don't know. We'll see. What is it? Monday, she's being summoned to Congress. Whatever. Yeah. And I told you what this all mainly revolves around. Why do they hate the Orange Man so bad? Why is this so important to them? Well, the DEI agenda was not about diversity, equity, and inclusion. That never was. It was normalizing a certain type of lifestyle for these elite perverts. That's all I'm going to say. And to basically feminize and weaken the United States military. This is the only country DEI was meant for because it's China pushing it. Who do you think pushes for gun control? Yeah, let me be president. There's going to be a real big shakeup in the United States of America. Because if I'm president, you are going to adhere to the Constitution as a state, or you're going to be voted out of the fucking union. Period. California, New York. What do you not understand about shall not be infringed? Gunpowder was invented in 940 AD. It's over 1,000 fucking years old. And here's a nice Jewish word for you. You still want to haka chinik about it. That's banging a tea kettle. That's Yiddish. There you go. Like, I'm getting sick of it. These same asshats who spread gun control don't realize that propaganda is a fucking weapon also. In some cases, it can be more dangerous than firearms. They have no problem spreading that. This is what I mean. We need to go back to the laws that are on file from the 1950s, the anti-communist infiltration laws written in the United States. And yes, they can be applied. See how they like that. Trump wouldn't even have to get in office and write any new laws. All he's got to do is enforce the ones that are on the books already. Yeah, let's see. We got a comment here. Why couldn't she put the gun back in the holster? Yeah, it's a joke. And at the end of the day, you know why everyone's rejecting DEI? Because they got a feeling deep down in their soul that it's not promoting what the fuck they say it is. And people just, they're starting to figure it out. Some people are waking up to what this was really meant for. And of course, YouTube is shutting those people down, so is Google. That is, what the real purpose of DEI was supposed to be. Coming to you from the same people that try to push the word MAPS a few years ago. You know what a MAPS is? Minor attracted persons. It's disgusting. And it's all for my rant today. Anyway, if you could support the channel, all the links are in the description. I also have Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, locals. I'll be making a post over at Patreon. Maybe I'll do it today on the truth about Kamala, or should I say Kamal? If they put that swamp thing in up as president, it's a huge fuck you humiliation ritual to the United States of America. And she is not what you think. And we have the proof of it. And see how this plays out. Quite honestly, I'll say this. I think a lot of people are too. I'm getting sick about hearing about the 2024 fucking election. All right, this is something that's supposed to happen every 4 years in the United States. We go out and vote, pick a president who speaks for the people. What the fuck has this turned into recently in the past few years? Why is it so important for them to be president? It's a fucking position that pays $150,000 a year. If there's nothing nefarious going on with the position, why are you literally trying to fucking murder each other for it? Yeah. Read between the lines on that one. Yeah, because they want to be public service officials so fucking bad. Get the hell out of here. And remember, the government should be afraid of the people, not the people afraid of the government. I don't give a shit what they think. That is why, our forefathers kind of laid that out for us. Quite honestly, I got some different philosophical opinions about any human that tries to tell another human how to live or what to think. Like, who the fuck are you? What are you, a god or something? Or you think you're a god? Yeah, please. All right. Yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a good day. I just wanted to do that rant about Tolkien. Tolkien was not far right. He was a liberal for his time. God bless him. Don't worry, there's going to be more people in human history that will remember JRR Tolkien than this piece of shit psychopath over at CNN, Ricky Maddow. Just saying. Questions or comments, leave them below. Take care, and God bless.